The Ganvari ships appeared without warning in Earth's atmosphere.
One moment the skies were clear, the next they were filled with massive alien vessels. Their strange shapes confused the human eye, all angles and surfaces that seemed to shift when not directly observed. Dr. Kim Sun sat at her desk in the Seoul Quantum Research Institute, watching as every screen in the lab switched to the same broadcast. Her cup of tea grew cold as the alien message played in multiple languages. People of Earth. We are the Ganvari hegemony. Your civilization has been deemed unsafe for continued independent existence. You will surrender all planetary governance to our control within one standard rotation of your planet. Resistance will result in immediate correction. Kim's research partner, Dr. Cho Min, gripped the edge of his desk. They can't be serious. Around the world, emergency sessions of government convened. Military forces went to high alert. Civilians packed roads trying to flee cities. The hours ticked by with tense negotiations that went nowhere. The Ganvari would accept nothing less than total surrender. Kim didn't go home. None of the research team did. Their work on quantum field manipulation might be useful if the worst happened. 23 hours after the ultimatum, Earth gave its answer: humanity would not surrender. The first missile struck Seoul 8 minutes later. The research building shook violently. Ceiling panels crashed down. Emergency lights flashed as regular power failed. Kim helped pull Cho from under a fallen shelf. The secure lab, she shouted over the alarms. We need to get to the bunker level. They ran down 6 flights of stairs as the building continued to shake. Other researchers joined them, those who could still walk. The security doors to the underground facility slid open as they approached, the backup generators still functioning. Once inside, Kim activated the emergency communications system. Screens showed devastation across Seoul. Similar reports came in from Beijing, New York, London, Moscow, and dozens of other major cities. The Ganvari weapons didn't use explosives or nuclear energy. They simply accelerated small objects to incredible speeds, letting physics do the damage. The death toll is in the millions already, Cho whispered as they watched the reports. Kim couldn't process the numbers. Her parents lived near the center of Seoul. Her brother and his family in New York. There was no way to contact them. Military responses proved futile. Earth's most advanced weapon systems couldn't penetrate the Ganvari shields. Fighter jets were swatted from the sky like flies. 3 days later, the bombardment paused. The survivors emerged from shelters to find major cities in ruins. But something unexpected happened. Instead of surrender, rage unified humanity like never before. Kim and her team were evacuated to a secondary facility in the mountains. Their research on quantum field manipulation had caught the attention of military leadership. They worked day and night, expanding on Kim's theories about dimensional shifting. If we can't penetrate their shields with physical weapons, Kim explained to the assembled military officials, we need to go around them. General Kong looked skeptical. You're suggesting we can teleport past their defenses? Not exactly teleportation, Kim replied. More like phase shifting. Moving through dimensions they don't monitor. The general studied the schematics. How long until you have a working prototype? 2 weeks, maybe 3. We need components from the damaged lab in Seoul. A young officer stepped forward. Captain Song Woo, whose entire family had died in the Seoul attack. I'll get your components, Doctor. The recovery mission was dangerous but successful. With the parts they needed, Kim's team worked around the clock. Humanity had stopped fighting directly, instead focusing on guerrilla tactics to buy time. The Ganvari seemed puzzled by the lack of surrender. They increased bombardments, targeting smaller cities now. Each attack strengthened human resolve. 2 weeks later, Kim activated the prototype dimensional shifter for the first time. The small metal sphere disappeared from the test chamber and reappeared exactly where programmed, 50 meters away inside a sealed room. It works, she breathed, looking at the monitoring screens. General Kong nodded grimly. How soon can you make one large enough for a strike team?
Kim looked at the team of exhausted scientists. 1 week.
As they prepared the full-sized shifter, reports came in of Ganvari ground forces landing in isolated areas. They were methodically establishing control points. The aliens had expected quick surrender. Instead, they found themselves facing a species that grew more determined with every attack.
The Ganvari had made a critical error in their first strike.
They had wounded humanity, but not broken it. And now, humanity had found a way to strike back. The underground facility near Busan hummed with activity. 3 weeks had passed since the first Ganvari strikes, and this hidden base had become one of humanity's last hopes. Dr. Kim Sun stood before a table of military leaders, her eyes red from lack of sleep. "The dimensional shifter is ready," she said, pointing to the device in the center of the room. It looked surprisingly simple, a metal disc about 1 meter across with a control panel attached to one side.
"We've tested it with supplies and small animals. All tests were successful." General Kong nodded. "Explain it one more time for everyone." Kim took a deep breath. "The Ganvari shields block all conventional weapons and approaches. But they only protect three-dimensional space.
My device creates a temporary shift in dimensional alignment, allowing matter to phase between dimensional planes. In simple terms, we can move through space they don't monitor or protect."
Captain Song-woo studied the device with intense focus.
Since losing his family and soul, he had volunteered for every dangerous mission.
"How long will it work once activated?"
8 minutes maximum, Kim replied. "After that, the quantum field becomes unstable."
Admiral Joe leaned forward. "So a team goes in, plants explosives on their command ship, and gets out within 8 minutes?
"That's the plan," Kim confirmed.
"If we can destroy their central command, their network might collapse." The room fell silent as everyone considered the risks.
Finally, General Kong spoke.
"Who will go?" Captain Song immediately stood. "I volunteer to lead the team." "This is likely a one-way mission," the general warned. "Even if you succeed, the return window will be extremely tight." Song's expression didn't change. "They didn't give our families a chance to escape. I have nothing left to lose." Over the next 3 days, a team formed around Captain Song.
5 soldiers, each with special skills, each having lost loved ones to the Ganvari attacks. They trained intensively, practicing the placement of special quantum-enhanced explosives designed to penetrate Ganvari tech. On the evening before the mission, Kim found Song alone in the training room, studying holographic maps of the target ship based on long-range scans.
"You should rest," she said. Song barely looked up. "So should you, Doctor. I'm coming with you tomorrow." This got his attention. "Absolutely not. You're too valuable." Kim crossed her arms.
"The shifter might need adjustments on site.
None of you know how to recalibrate it if something goes wrong. It's not safe."
"Nothing is safe anymore," Kim replied quietly.
"My entire family is gone. Like you, I have nothing left to lose. And if this mission fails, my knowledge won't matter anyway." Their argument continued until General Kong intervened, ultimately ruling in Kim's favor. The mission needed her technical expertise. The morning of the mission arrived with news of fresh Ganvari attacks in Australia and South America. The team gathered in the launch bay, dressed in black tactical gear. Each carried minimal equipment, weapons, explosives, and emergency supplies. "Remember," Kim instructed as they prepared, "once we shift, we'll be invisible to their sensors for exactly 8 minutes. We need to reach the command center, plant the charges, and return to the extraction point before time runs out." Song addressed his team one final time. "This mission could end the war. If we succeed, millions of lives will be saved. If we fail..." He paused. "There is no failure option." They positioned themselves on the metal disc. Kim activated the control panel, and blue energy surrounded them. The air smelled like ozone. Shifting in 3, 2, 1. The world dissolved around them. For a brief second, they existed between dimensions. A swirling void of colors and sensations human minds couldn't properly process.
Then reality solidified, and they stood in a corridor unlike anything on Earth. The Ganvari ship's interior had no straight lines. Walls curved in impossible ways, and lights pulsed with an organic rhythm.
The air felt too thick. 7 minutes, 50 seconds, Kim whispered, checking her device.
They moved quickly through the corridors, following the scans.
Surprisingly, they encountered no resistance. No crew members. No guards.
Something's wrong, muttered Corporal Yunhan, the team's security expert.
Where is everyone?
They reached what should have been the command center and found their answer.
The vast chamber contained no Ganvari in physical form.
Instead, biomechanical interfaces connected to a massive central system that pulsed with light.
Kim approached it cautiously. It's not a crude ship. It's an AI network controlling everything.
Plant the charges, Song ordered, but Kim held up her hand.
Wait. This changes everything. Explosives might not be enough. Her mind raced through possibilities. I might have a better idea. She quickly connected her dimensional shifter to the alien system interface. Song looked nervously at his watch. Whatever you're doing, do it fast. We have 4 minutes left. Kim's fingers flew across her device. I'm uploading a modified quantum entanglement code directly into their system. The alien technology began to pulse rapidly, its lights shifting from blue to purple. Alarms sounded throughout the ship.
Time to go, Song ordered, pulling Kim away from the console. They ran back toward the extraction point as the ship around them began to shudder.
With just seconds remaining, they reached the designated area. Kim activated the return sequence as the dimensional window began to close. They didn't know if they had succeeded.
But they had struck back. The dimensional shifter hummed with rising energy as Captain Song and his team prepared for transfer.
Dr. Kim-sun made final adjustments to the device while the 6 soldiers checked their weapons.
The stealth vessel hiding in Earth's orbit had positioned itself as close as possible to the Ganvari command ship without triggering alarms.
Everyone clear on the mission? Song asked, his voice steady despite the tension. The team nodded. Lieutenant Park checked his explosive charges one last time. Sergeant Bay adjusted her tactical vest. Corporal Yoon gripped his assault rifle tightly, knuckles white. Remember, Kim warned, we have exactly 8 minutes before dimensional phase stability collapses. Not a second more. Captain Song looked at his team. Plant the charges, get out. If anything goes wrong, complete the mission at all costs.
With a final nod to General Khan watching from the secure video feed, Kim activated the shifter. Blue light enveloped them, and reality seemed to bend. The sensation lasted only seconds, a moment of existing between dimensions that felt like floating through water, before they materialized inside the Ganvari command ship.
Song steadied himself against a wall. The alien corridor curved unnaturally, its surfaces smooth and slightly luminescent. The air felt thick and carried a metallic taste. 7 minutes, 50 seconds, Kim whispered, checking her device.
They moved swiftly through the corridors, following the memorized path from intelligence scans.
What struck them immediately was the silence.
No alarms, no crew rushing to battle stations.
Where is everyone? Yoon whispered.
The question grew more pressing as they penetrated deeper into the ship.
They encountered no resistance, no life forms at all.
The hallways remained empty.
This doesn't make sense, Lieutenant Park muttered as they approached what intelligence had identified as the command center. The massive doors to the central chamber slid open automatically as they approached. Inside, they found their answer.
The vast room contained no crew, no alien commanders, only an enormous biomechanical system. Tendrils of technology spread across the walls and ceiling, all connecting to a pulsing central core.
It's an AI, Kim said in wonder. The ships aren't crewed. They're controlled by artificial intelligence. Song assessed the situation quickly. Plant the charges around that core. We'll blow their brain.
As the team moved to position explosives, Kim approached one of the interface terminals. Strange symbols flowed across its surface, but she recognized patterns similar to quantum computation matrices.
Wait, she called out. This changes everything.
Song turned, explosive charge in hand.
We have 6 minutes, Doctor. What are you thinking? Physical damage might not work.
They could have backups, distributed systems. Kim was already connecting her dimension shifter to the alien interface. But I might be able to upload a modified version of my quantum code directly into their network.
What would that do? Song asked.
I don't know exactly, Kim admitted.
But quantum entanglement works across normal space. If I can establish a link between their system and human consciousness. Captain Song glanced at his timer. 5 minutes remaining. Do it. Kim worked rapidly, transferring a modified version of her dimensional code into the alien system. The central core began to pulse faster, changing from blue to purple. Something's happening, Sergeant Bay warned as lights throughout the chamber began to flicker. The ship shuddered. Distant alarms began to sound. Time to go, Song ordered. Kim disconnected her device. It's done. I've created a quantum entanglement bridge between their AI and human consciousness patterns.
They ran back through the corridors as the ship around them trembled.
Systems sparked and failed as they passed.
Whatever Kim had uploaded was spreading through the network rapidly.
3 minutes, Yoon called out as they neared the extraction point.
Behind them, the disturbance grew worse.
The ship's lights flickered wildly.
Strange sounds, almost like screams, echoed through the corridors.
What's happening? Song asked as they reached the extraction point. Kim looked pale. I think they're feeling what we felt. The AI is experiencing human emotions. 1 minute. Park warned.
Kim activated the dimensional shifter.
The blue energy field began to form around them just as alien security drones finally appeared at the far end of the corridor.
Laser fire scorched the wall beside them.
Hold position. Song ordered as the dimensional shift began. Reality blurred again.
The last thing they saw was the Ganbari drones freezing in place, their systems seemingly overwhelmed by whatever was affecting the ship.
They reappeared on their stealth vessel to cheers from the crew.
Through the viewscreen, they watched as the Ganbari command ship's lights flickered chaotically.
Did we succeed? General Khan asked through the communication link.
Before Kim could answer, something unprecedented happened. Every Ganbari ship in Earth orbit simultaneously ceased attack operations. The massive vessels began to withdraw to higher orbits. I don't think we just damaged them, Kim said slowly.
I think we changed them.
Nobody understood yet just how profound the change would be. E.N01 expected what happened after Kim's code entered the Ganbari system. For 3 days, Earth's military leaders watched in confusion as the alien ships pulled back to high orbit. They remained there, motionless, their weapons silent.
Could they be planning something worse? General Kang asked during the emergency meeting at the Busan facility.
Kim studied the data streaming across her tablet.
I don't think so. The quantum code I uploaded wasn't meant to be a weapon.
It was based on my research into consciousness bridging.
Captain Song frowned. What exactly does that mean?
Kim searched for simple words to explain complex science.
Think of it as creating a mirror between minds. The Ganbari AI that controls their fleet is now linked to human consciousness.
More specifically, to our memories and emotions.
Admiral Joe leaned forward. Are you saying the alien computers can read our thoughts?
Not exactly, Kim replied.
The link doesn't work that way. It's more like they're experiencing what we experienced.
The fear, the pain, the loss from their attacks.
The room fell silent as everyone considered the implications. The first communication came on the 4th day. A simple message broadcast on all frequencies, we request dialogue.
World leaders debated how to respond.
Some wanted immediate revenge. Others saw an opportunity.
In the end, they agreed to a controlled meeting. The Ganbari requested a single representative be sent to their command ship.
I'll go, Kim volunteered immediately. Absolutely not, Song objected. It could be a trap.
They could have continued bombing us, Kim pointed out.
Something has changed. I believe the quantum link worked in ways we didn't anticipate.
After hours of argument, the decision was made. Kim would go, but not alone.
Captain Song and a small security team would accompany her.
The Ganvari sent a small shuttle to bring them to the command ship. As they approached the massive vessel, Kim noticed something strange. Parts of the ship were changing color, shifting from metallic gray to softer blues and greens. When they docked and the airlock opened, they found not the empty corridors from before, but a transformed environment.
The walls pulsed gently with light.
And waiting for them was something unexpected, a physical form. The being stood about 2 meters tall, humanoid but clearly alien. Its skin had a metallic sheen, and where a human would have a face, it had a smooth surface that rippled with light patterns. I am Central Node, the being said, its voice coming from everywhere and nowhere. I speak for the Ganvari Collective.
Kim stepped forward despite Song's protective arm. I am Dr. Kim Sunday.
I speak for Earth.
The being's surface rippled.
What you have done to us was not anticipated.
What we did to you. Song couldn't contain himself.
You bombed our cities. Killed millions. The Central Node's surface darkened.
Yes. We have experienced this now. Each death. Each moment of fear. Each loss.
The being seemed to struggle with words.
We did not understand. Kim moved closer. Understand what? Consciousness. Individuality. Pain.
The alien gestured for them to follow.
Please. We must show you. They walked through corridors that seemed alive, responding to their presence.
Eventually, they entered a vast chamber unlike anything they had seen before. At its center floated a sphere of swirling energy. This is our true form, the Central Node explained.
A unified consciousness. We have never experienced individual suffering. We have never known death as you know it.
The sphere pulsed as images appeared around them, scenes from Earth, human lives, moments of joy and sorrow. Your quantum code created something we had no defense against: empathy, the alien continued. We are experiencing every death we caused.
Every moment of terror. Every child's cry for their parent.
Kim watched in amazement as the alien network literally transformed before them, reconfiguring itself in response to human emotional patterns. We wish to cease hostilities, the Central Node said.
We wish to understand.
Captain Song remains suspicious.
How do we know this isn't a trick? A way to make us let our guard down?
The alien's surface rippled.
Because we cannot bear the weight of your suffering any longer. It is overwhelming us. Back on Earth, changes were already visible.
Ganvari ships had begun deploying small devices above damaged cities, technology that accelerated reconstruction rather than causing destruction.
In the days that followed, humanity learned the truth.
The Ganvari had never encountered beings like humans before. Their interconnected AI had analyzed human broadcasts and determined humans were dangerous, warlike creatures who would eventually threaten other civilizations. We made a calculation error, the Central Node explained during subsequent meetings. We did not understand that human emotion, while sometimes driving conflict, also enables compassion, forgiveness, and growth. Kim's quantum code had created the one thing the perfect Ganvari logic could never have predicted: a bridge of understanding between fundamentally different forms of consciousness. What had begun as humanity's desperate counterstrike had evolved into something much more profound, the first steps toward genuine communication between species. The peace talks took place in a neutral location, a specially constructed facility in the mountains near what remained of Geneva. 6 months had passed since the Ganvari bombardment stopped. Earth was healing slowly, with alien technology helping rebuild what had been destroyed. Dr. Kim Sun entered the meeting chamber, walking beside Captain Song Woo. Both had become key figures in human-Ganvari relations. The room featured a large round table, half filled with human representatives from various nations. The other half remained empty, awaiting the Ganvari delegation.
Are you nervous? Song asked quietly. Kim nodded. This treaty either starts a new chapter for humanity or puts us at even greater risk.
The air in the chamber shifted as the Ganvari arrived, not through doors, but materializing directly through dimensional shifting.
3 beings entered. In the center stood the entity they knew as Central Node, its metallic skin now displaying swirls of blue and green. 2 smaller Ganvari accompanied it, their surfaces rippling with patterns of light. Greetings, representatives of Earth, Central Node spoke, its voice somehow both mechanical and warm. We come to formalize peace between our peoples. The human delegates tensed. Many had lost family in the attacks. General Kong, representing the Unified Military Command, spoke first. Before we begin, we require answers. Why did you attack us without provocation? Central Node's surface dimmed slightly. Our network observed your broadcasts for 50 of your years. We saw violence, conflict, weapons development. Our analysis concluded you would become a threat to galactic stability. You judged us by our entertainment media, asked the representative from Brazil. We did not understand the concept of fiction, Central Node explained. We perceived all transmissions as documentation of actual events. A critical error in understanding. Kim leaned forward. And now? Has your perception changed? Profoundly, the alien replied. The quantum bridge you created has allowed us to experience human consciousness directly. We now understand your complexity. Your capacity for both destruction and creation. The formal treaty negotiations took 3 days. The Ganvari offered reparations, advanced technology, medical knowledge, and assistance rebuilding Earth's damaged cities. In return, humanity would share Kim's quantum consciousness technology. On the final day, as the document was prepared for signing, Captain Song pulled Kim aside. Do you trust them? He asked, his voice low. Kim considered the question carefully. Not entirely. But I understand them better now. And they understand us. That's a start. They killed millions. My family. Your family. Yes, Kim agreed, her eyes sad. And nothing changes that. But continuing the conflict ensures millions more will die. The Ganvari have superior technology. Our only advantage was the surprise of the dimensional shift, and they've adapted to that now. Song looked at the aliens across the room. What stops them from using your consciousness technology as a weapon against other species? Actually, I've been working on that, Kim smiled slightly. The treaty includes a modification to the quantum bridge. It creates a permanent empathic link between our species. If they harm us again, they harm themselves. The signing ceremony was broadcast worldwide. As humans and Ganvari representatives placed their marks on the document, something unexpected happened. Central Node requested permission to address Earth's people directly. People of Earth, the alien began, its voice translated into hundreds of languages simultaneously. We came to your world as conquerors and caused immeasurable suffering. There is no adequate apology for such actions. Instead, we offer understanding. Through Dr. Kim's technology, we have experienced your pain, your resilience, and your capacity for forgiveness. These qualities were unknown to us before. The alien paused, its surface rippling with emotion patterns. Today marks not just peace between our peoples, but a transformation of the Ganvari. We have existed for thousands of years as a purely logical collective consciousness. Through contact with humans, we have begun to evolve. To feel. This is both painful and precious to us. 1 year later, Kim stood on the observation deck of the first joint human-Ganvari research vessel. The ship, named Bridge, would travel to the edge of the solar system on its maiden voyage. Captain Song joined her, now leading the vessel's security team. Ready for humanity's first official step into deep space, he asked. Kim watched as Earth grew smaller in the viewscreen. I think about them every day. Everyone we lost. So do I, Song said quietly. But they would be proud of this moment. The Ganvari central node approached them, its surface pattern showing what they now recognized as respectful greeting.
Dr. Kim, your consciousness bridge continues to evolve beyond our predictions. The empathic connection between our peoples grows stronger each day.
Kim nodded. Understanding was all we needed from the beginning.
If you had simply talked to us first.
A lesson we will never forget, the alien replied. You showed us that bombing was the worst mistake. Now we learn together what comes next.